Hello, it is Sarah Waggle. It is day 178 of 365 days of lives on Instagram. Hello on YouTube as well. So we are here to talk about this moon in Libra and black spruce essential oil. And I kind of want to tell a little kind of a personal story without going into too much detail, but just to reaffirm, confirm that I am indeed a messy AF human. I knew going into this weekend it was going to be an intense weekend. Mars was squaring Uranus. And after Friday morning, there was like these massive realizations and massive clarifications. I was just like, oh, this is going to be an interesting weekend. And it was. And me personally, I even had like an experience of throwing an emotional temper tantrum. And I share that because I love the idea of not being perfect, right? We're all messy, emotional humans. It's Cancer season. And Cancer is a water sign. And I think that it's appropriate that we have emotional moments. And so maybe you experienced something this weekend that was just like, oh God, like your behavior or someone else's behavior, however it went for you. And so when I drew black spruce out of the deck yesterday, I thought how appropriate that this was the oil. And I don't have black spruce particularly, but I do have one called Midnight Forest, and it happens to have black spruce in it. And I put this immediately on the soles of my feet. That's what I do with a lot of these grounding oils, arbor vitae, a lot of these grounding oils. I put them on the soles of my feet. I put a couple of drops and then I kind of rub my feet together. And then yesterday, I not only put this on my feet, but I laid down on my bed and did some sound healing. I found some, I don't know, I just looked for deep bass sound healing. I just felt like that's what I needed. I had found like 432 hertz, which is the heart sound healing, and that just wasn't resonating. And I'm like, I really want something deep. So I just searched out deep bass sound healing on YouTube. And I listened to that and just kind of allowed the energy to roll through and reground myself, because what happens after, especially somebody who's doing this work, this is my experience anyway. What I notice is that when I have a tantrum like I had yesterday, where I emotionally lose my shit, I was crying, I was screaming, I was just not okay. But what happens on the other side of that is that I feel like I'm an imposter. I feel like, because people even say, like, you do this healing work and yet you're here. And I feel like an imposter. Like, I can't even believe that people think I do this work. But the reality is that whether we are healers or spiritual energy workers, astrologers, coaches, whatever it is, whether we do this work or not, we're human, and healing is not healed. It's a process of healing. It is peeling back layers of an onion. It is, you're constantly going to have things that resurface and trigger and cause or create the circumstance of like an emotional, meltdown or temper tantrum. When I was in my coach's training program, I remember many of us, several of us, have a story during our coach's training program of throwing a temper tantrum in the lobby of the hotel, not like the main lobby, but like the lobby of the floor that our sessions were on. And we all have our own story around that, of like the moment that we were so triggered and so pushed that by our program and by the process of our program that we had a temper tantrum. And so I kind of want to normalize it in the way of like, it happens, but I also want to use it as a means of explain or describing how I implement these oils and how I implement healing methodologies and modalities that I do indeed use. right? I immediately went to the oil. I immediately went to sound healing and sound therapy, put on my noise cancellation headphones and laid on my bed and absorbed the sound and let the energy flow through. Had some tears, definitely did some crying, definitely ate my emotions in some Ben and Jerry's. And by the way, peanut butter half baked is freaking amazing. And then, chatted with a friend on the phone and did the whole, our usual kind of stuff. And then this morning I checked in with my mom, I checked in with one of my coach friends, and really just kind of gave myself the grace and the space. So that's why tarot videos didn't happen yesterday, because I didn't have the energetic space to do it, and I didn't want them to sound like shit. And that's how I felt, I felt like shit last night. And again, I want to normalize it, and I want to use it as an example of how I implement all of the crap, all of the things that I talk about. And that, even if someone, or you are someone who does spiritual, energetic, astrology, healing, whatever kind of work you call it, ascension, we all have our moments, because we're still messy AF humans at the end of the day. We're still messy humans. And I have found in my experience, and what I explained to my mom this morning, was that because it's like lots of people want to control or oppress their emotions. And I have found in my own experience that the more I allow my emotions to have their break and have their moment, then like take care of my nervous system, and after that, I feel better, right? I feel better. I took time to journal. I took time to process it all and to allow it all. And when I used to not do that, and I used to hold it all inside, I would just physically feel it. My body would hurt, my stomach would be upset, all of the things. And I'm not saying any of this has to be happening for any one person. This is my personal experience and what has me implement all of the stuff I talk about. I keep wanting to say crap, and I'm like, that's just not a word I want to use today. But it's what has me use all of these different methodologies and modalities to continue to process, to continue to peel back layers, and rise above and rise up, and all of the things. We're always going to have stuff that triggers. There's no that won't ever happen. I won't ever be triggered by that again. No, I probably will. Because we all have deep wounding, right? From childhood, from whatever it was, we all have deep wounding, even from previous, past lives, if you go with that. If you subscribe to that, even if you don't, it could be from, early childhood. And so we all have something that triggers us, that brings all that out. And so when we use something like black spruce, or this midnight forest happens to have black spruce, was it Siberian fir, frankincense, there was a wild orange, something like that. So this is a blend I got from doTERRA. Of course, you can use whatever brand or blend you choose. Arbor Vitae is a great oil to put on the soles of your feet. Even if you have like doTERRA Balance or Adaptive, those sorts of oils, I was using that like on my Adaptive on my neck, just to keep the calming to my nervous system. I've used Arbor Vitae on my feet. Love that one too. And so I don't know what other, like, what's the other oil brand I'm thinking of? Young Living. There we go. I'm sure Young Living has some version of these combinations of a forest blend or a nature blend, to put on the soles of your feet. Of course, you can diffuse it too. I just happen to be somebody who has a very difficult time grounding myself when I'm in that place, when I'm in that emotional, high-strung place. I really have a challenging time grounding. And so for me, putting it on the soles of my feet and really firmly placing my body to the ground, whether that's the carpeted floor, like I said, laying on my bed flat, getting outside and standing in the dirt, whatever that is. And so for me, that's what's effective. Again, I'm somebody who has a really hard time staying grounded. I like to stay up in the ethers, up in the cosmos, in my emotional space, feeling all the feels. But the reality is that I need to be a responsible adult. So grounding into the earth. And then I think too, the deep bass sound healing that I chose also kind of resonated. And again, sound cancellation headphones, and did that. So that's the black spruce for this Libra moon. This is also a great oil as the energies continue. I'm telling you, just looking at the astrology ahead and feeling the energies, like it's going to continue to amp up. Venus is really in charge right now, and she's in Leo, and she's going to be there until early October. And going to go retrograde. The South Node is going to shift into a Libra ruled sign in mid-July. And so we've got a lot of Venus influence. So that is money, finances, self-worth, value, all those things. And so it is really a good time to take those opportunities to breathe, to center yourself, to ground yourself. I keep thinking back to my tarot video from Friday, the Hermit in Reverse. And I think I mentioned in that video about really taking the moments to put into practice all of the, whether it's spiritual work or, psychotherapy tools that you've learned, but taking them and putting them into practice and putting them into play. And so that's the oil for this moon cycle, and all of that. I also want to use this video as an opportunity to tell you about a link that is now in my link tree on Instagram and on my description box on my YouTube. It is to the Awakening Spirit membership. This is a collective group that I am partnering with as an astrologer and energy worker and leadership coach. And the other partners in this are ascension coaches, sound healers. There's a chakra dance instructor, but all of us are bringing sort of our expertise. Like I would love to be the person to bring you all of the things, right? I would love to do all of the sound work, the color work, the chakra work. And I can bring a lot of it, but I go with astrology and coaching. Of course, I bring coaching, and I obviously do energy work. But to really come together with other ladies that are, and I don't know, maybe there's going to be men involved too, I'm sure, along the way. I know that the woman who is putting this all together is working on getting some breath work folks on board. And so what's going to happen is we're going to bring all of these people into a collective. So we'll have a collective of practitioners who can support you in their own way, whatever their expertise is, breath work, sound work, chakra work, and all of that. And so you can get into the membership, become a member. It is a monthly membership. And you can receive the courses and the classes and the support from all of these various practitioners. So if what I talk about is really resonating and you're really wanting to dive even deeper, or if you're feeling it in your body that you need more support, whatever that looks like for you, go ahead and click on that link. It's called Awakening Spirit Membership. Like I said, it's in the description box on YouTube and in the link tree on my Instagram. You can access those. You can also get a reading from me. I do offer Zoom readings, but I may put those on hold and only offer the written report readings, simply because my life's a little chaotic right now. I don't know if you noticed that the sound is different in here because we have really cleaned out this room. And so there's nothing absorbing the sound. I didn't realize how much that was the thing until yesterday, after we cleaned out this room. And so you can get a written report from me, and I can give you ideas as to what transits may hit your chart at what time, on the dates, what might be coming up for you. Maybe it's your Saturn return that you're experiencing right now. If you are roughly between 27 and 30-ish, maybe it's your Uranus opposition. If you're coming up to your mid 40s, you may be in your Uranus opposition. And so if that's the case, Mars squared your Uranus yesterday and opposing opposing the transiting Uranus. And so we have a lot of transits that are stacking and building throughout the summer. And so I would love to give you some supportive guidance around that and whatnot. So if you'd like to book a written report from me, you can do that on my Linktree as well. And yeah, so check out the Awakening Spirit membership. It is a way that you can be supported. You can support me and the work that I do and all of that. And so that's all I've got. So thanks so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I will get tarot videos back up and going tomorrow. And so we'll have those coming through for you. So thanks so much for tuning in on YouTube, and I will talk to you next time.